Good morning and welcome to the monthly meeting of the Oklahoma City Airport Trust, the meeting for October 27th. We have, I believe, if I could get our municipal councilor attention. We do have a quorum with the three. We have a quorum? Yes. Okay. We are missing Terry Salmon and Mr. Mayor Humphreys. I'll call the meeting to order. The first item of business is to approve the minutes of the September 22nd Oklahoma City Airport Trust meeting.
Move the approval.
A motion is second. Cast your votes, and it is approved. Next on the agenda, we have a presentation by Plan OKC, and I'm going to call on Mark Cranenberg to do the introduction.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone. Yes, we have Randy Ince from the Planning Department, which is here to talk about the comprehensive plan for the city of Oklahoma City. Mr. Ince and his staff have reached out to all the boards, trusts, and commissions and trying to disseminate information as widely as possible about the comprehensive plan, and we're happy to have him here this morning.
Thank you. As you said, I'm Randy Ince, and thanks again for having me here today. We're kind of winding down our process of going out, reaching out to groups, and presenting what Plan OKC is about. So let me tell you real quick. Plan OKC is the new comprehensive plan for Oklahoma City. Let me explain a little bit about what a comprehensive plan is. It's a document the city uses, not just the planning department, that captures kind of the long-term goals and visions and policies for the city. It's a big picture document. It's the game plan for how the city should grow. It outlines what is important to us as a community, such as appearance, cultural and retail and entertainment opportunities, transportation options, and quality of education, for example. It is adopted by the Planning Commission and accepted by City Council, and it's used by city officials and property owners and citizens to guide decisions about future growth in the city. Since we tell you what it is, we kind of have to tell you what it's not. Some people kind of get a misunderstanding. It's not a specific project. It's not a MAPS project or Project 180. It can lay the groundwork for special projects. It's also not zoning, but it informs zoning. It does inform land use, which eventually informs zoning. It's not a maintenance plan for streets or parks, and it's not a code enforcement plan. Oklahoma City, just to give you an idea of what we're trying to plan for, is quite large. It's the third largest, I think, in geographic area in the U.S. 621 square miles, has many different types of land use to plan for. It's got everything from rural to dense urban landforms here in the center city. It involves coordinating with more than a dozen adjacent municipalities, and it's, as you can guess, a very massive and complex effort. In the history of Oklahoma City, we've only had 3 comprehensive plans. The first one was in 1930. That was updated or rewritten in 1949, and then again in 1977. We're currently operating under that comprehensive plan. Now, it was updated in 2000. But a lot of the language still remained from 77. And as you've guessed, a lot of things have changed since 1977. Let me give you some examples. In the last 30 years, Oklahoma City has grown 41% in population. The water treated in gallons per year has grown 58%. The area we service with utilities has grown 63%. The developed area has grown 97%. So for that 41% in population, we've doubled the developed area of Oklahoma City. And then lane miles, what we maintain for travel, has grown 122% over the last 30 years. As you can tell, it's typical of a city that's decentralizing, that's growing at the edges, and that creates some problems for the city. How about challenges for the city? We're trying to make the plan more sustainable this time, and what we mean by sustainable is a city that strikes a balance between the economy, the environment, and the community to achieve a higher quality of life for its current residents and for its future residents. An example of economy, in 1977, for basic city services, it cost $663 per person in Oklahoma City. Adjusted for inflation and for those same services, more or less, in 2009, everybody is paying $942. That's a growth of 42%. So you can tell there's a big economic impact on our citizens. As far as environment, we're facing several environmental challenges in the city of Oklahoma City. One is the loss of habitat. Oklahoma City has lost nearly 60% of its forest cover since 1871. We have experienced a lot of decreased water quality. 70% of Oklahoma City's major streams and lakes do not meet water quality standards. And then the air quality issue. We are very much in danger of losing our clean air attainment status with the federal government. The things that cause most of the pollutants are automobiles. 64% of ozone-causing pollutants in the Oklahoma City area are caused by automobiles. Over 99% of the trips taken in the Oklahoma City area use the automobile. So you can see the correlation there and why that's an issue. As far as community, the design of our environment influences how we interact with it. Lifestyle choices, making a healthy choice an easier choice is what we hope to do with the plan. Because Oklahoma ranks in the bottom of many health categories, as I'm sure you've heard before in the press. Oklahoma adults rank 49th in physical activity. Over the past 20 years, the number of obese Oklahomans has grown over 167%. We're 46th in the U.S. in that category. Along with that, we hope to improve the appearance of our community because it influences how people interact and enjoy our community. And we also want to create opportunities for residents to enjoy art, culture, and build strong communities here. And we've broken the plan down into 9 elements or topic areas, and I'll go over these individually. Sustain OKC is the future land use element. You may be interested in this as the airport authority because it is intended to direct the location, type, intensity, and form of various types of development patterns that respect the characteristics of a particular geographic area. The goal is to achieve an efficient and sustainable growth pattern here in the city. Sustainable land use patterns will guide infrastructure needs, capital improvement planning, and the prioritization of redevelopment areas. Connect OKC is the transportation element, and it's very near and dear to me because I'm in charge of that one. We hope to increase the efficiency and safety and increase the number of transportation options our residents have. We want to coordinate all modes of transportation to work together as an interconnected system. More choices, less automobile-dependent lifestyle. The more we enhance that, the more healthier of a community we become. Green OKC is the environmental and natural resources element. It strives to conserve, protect, and enhance natural resources and facilitate growth in conjunction with environmental management. The goal is to reverse some of the trends we saw earlier, RE, air quality, and the destruction of habitat. Live OKC is the communities element or the neighborhood element, if you want to look at it that way. We want to enhance the quality of life options for all residents. We want to identify community needs for public safety, transportation, housing, schools, libraries, recreation, and entertainment. We want to support the revitalization and stabilization of traditional and maturing neighborhoods and support the creation of attractive, sustainable, and new neighborhoods. Enrich OKC is the preservation, appearance, and cultural element. We want to preserve the city's history and character. We want to enhance community appearance and enhance the arts and cultural events and strengthen special districts and neighborhoods. Play OKC is the Parks and Rec element. We want to improve the quality of life and health of our citizens. We hope to create a connected open space network and provide diverse opportunities for people to recreate in. Strengthen OKC is the economic development element. We want to create an environment that will attract, create, and retain jobs and create fiscal sustainability in our city. We do this through infrastructure planning, placemaking, improved education opportunities, and an industrial and retail attraction. Then Serve OKC is the public services element. We want to provide a high quality of civic services, including schools, libraries, and public safety. And we want to ensure efficient services as growth occurs. And the last one is Go OKC. This is the implementation element. It establishes the responsibilities and time frames for actions that will implement the plan. This is something that is lacked in previous plans. Now the process, it's been ongoing for a while now. We started in 2010. Done a lot of data gathering. Currently we're in the public engagement process. We're going out and meeting with stakeholder groups, This starts November 4th with our first meetings. These are citizens who have interest in those 9 elements that we just presented. Hopefully in 2012, we will be able to finalize the plan. And if you want to be involved, there are different opportunities. The best way is to go to the website, the okc.gov/plan-OKC. We also have feedback forms that we provided at all our public meetings. I don't have any to give you today, unfortunately. We're also on Twitter and Facebook. The presentation circuit is generally what I've done today. We've reached out to several different groups. Over 1,400 people have seen this presentation now. The stakeholder groups are those interested citizens that I talked about. Then there's the feedback card and meeting in the box that we passed out to the neighborhoods so they could provide input that way. And with that, I'll answer any questions you might have.
Questions?
I got one real quick. Back on your slide where you showed the growth of a number of areas, you mentioned developed area has grown 97%. How do you define developed area?
It's an area that's not considered vacant or unused, or ag. So anything that was rural or vacant in the past, in 77, has now changed over to a more urban or residential style.
So it's not like a square mile has to have so much of it developed before it's considered developed. It goes by parcel.
It goes by parcel. Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
No, sir. It's about the 10th time I've seen it, so
You've got
planning
it?
staff is getting it down very, very well.
You could probably give it by now, I'm sure.
I just want to mention Airports Department did have a representative in the early part of the process when departments were involved in this. And so we're plugged into this, and anytime anything comes out throughout your process that you think does affect the airports, in any of them, all 3 of them, please reach out to us.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Moving on then, we are up to the director's report.
Thank you, and I do have one this morning. I would like to restate the public announcement that American Airlines issued last week through its affiliate American Eagle, which announced that in April of 2011 it would begin daily nonstop service, 1 flight per day from Oklahoma City Will Rogers World Airport to Los Angeles LAX Airport. This is pretty significant, even though it doesn't start until April. I want to mention it today because it shows, I think, that American Airlines, which hasn't added any cities in a long time at Will Rogers, that things are improving with the air service industry. We've seen a little bit of this over the past few months with Southwest adding another flight to Las Vegas and Southwest adding some frequency of flights to Denver, also to Kansas City. United Airlines is bringing back the second LAX nonstop in February of 2011. So although there are no new cities or airports that we're flying to nonstop, the fleet mixes seem to be getting larger with more seats available to the public, and service is being enhanced through these other methods. So we're very pleased about that.
Is the Delta Direct Connect to Newark still going, and is it doing well?
It's Continental, and yes,
Continental,
to Newark it is. And they have talked about trying to increase that to a mainline Boeing 737 to get more people on that flight.
Any comments from the directors?
I think that's great progress. I think, we're continuing to add, and at the chamber retreat a couple of weeks ago, that was one of the things they talked about as an obstacle, was the lack of, or isn't a lack, but obviously the desire to have more direct flights, and I know your staff is focused on that, and I think you've had good achievements on that. With the changing and the availability of regional jets and changes that are happening in the industry and the growth of Oklahoma City, and I only see more and more positives coming down the line in that area.
We do too. Thank you, sir.
With no more comments, Mr. Cranberg, if we would, Will Rogers World Airport items.
Yes, sir. Under Will Rogers, item A is to adopt a resolution authorizing the renewal of a contract for maintenance and replacement of parts for airfield lighting with Crouse-Hines Airport Lighting Products for $33,000, approving supplement number 2 to the maintenance service contract. Item B is to adopt a resolution approving the purchase of an Engage community messaging and visual paging system, also purchasing 2 52-inch LCD monitors from Infax Incorporated This is to upgrade our flight information display system in the terminal building, not to exceed $37,037. Item C is approve the professional services agreement with InterVistas Consulting Group for our air service development and consulting contract, 2 years, not to exceed $114,060, speaking of air service. Item D is to approve addendum number 1 for the registry building envelope repairs project at Mike Monroney Aeronautical Center, accept the bids opened on September 21st and the recommendations by the A&E. Adopt the resolution to award after 30 days to Fuller Miller Construction in the amount of $141,000 and approve the bonds. That's all items under Will Rogers.
Second.
Motion is second. Please cast your votes. And it passes. Wiley Poster.
Only 2 items for general aviation, to approve the easement with Cox Communications to install a fiber optic cable to provide voice and data communications to Hangar 11 at Wiley Post Airport, and to approve the amendment to the engagement letter with Robert D. Kellogg, attorney at law, related to the environmental deficiencies on the premises vacated by the Gulfstream Aerospace Corporation at Wiley Post.
Move the items.
Motion is second. Cast your votes. And it is approved. General.
Thank you. Item A is to receive the delinquent accounts receivable report, the construction project status report, and the budget to actual report as of September 30th. Item B, approve supplement number 1 to the cleaning and janitorial services contract with Flagship Airport Services, Inc., revise the cleaning requirements in certain areas and increase the contract amount by $64,457.76. That's all under general.
Second.
We have a motion is second to receive and approve. Cast your votes. And the items are received and approved. Item 8, lease agreements.
Item A is to approve a supplement lease agreement number 9 with Delta Airlines Incorporated. This extends the term of its lease for the operation of an above-ground de-icer storage area through December 31st, 2011, updating certain language at Will Rogers World Airport. Items B, C, and D are supplement agreements to the passenger airline and operating lease agreements for signatory carriers with Delta, Southwest, and American Airlines. Items E through L are lease agreements with various individual aircraft hangar owners for the lease of space at Clarence E. Page Airport, where they construct their own hangars for the storage of privately owned aircraft, 5-year periods commencing January 1, 2011. Item M is a farm lands lease agreement with Roy and Janice Nuttall, leasing some 1.6 acres for grazing purposes, $312.12 annually at Wiley Post. And last, approve supplement number 1 to the lease and operations agreement with Legacy Aviation Services, Inc., to lease facilities for their specialty shop operation, 5 years commencing November 1, 2010 for Clarence E. Page Airport. That's all leases.
Second.
We have a motion is second. Please cast your votes. And it passes. Item 9.
Request approval for the requisitions.
Move we approve the requisitions.
Motion is second. Cast your votes. And it is approved. Comments from trustees?
No, sir.
Seeing none. Comments from staff? Any citizens? We are adjourned.